Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Mattel Masterverse Masters of the Universe Revelation Fisto. Now before we get into it, let us first take a look-see at both the front and the back of the packaging. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now before we get into the meat and taters of this review, Fisto does come with a few accessories. First up, Fisto comes with 3 interchangeable hands for his left arm, of course. The first of which being this fist hand, so he can punch your freaking lights out. The second of which is this bitch slap hand, so he can smack you across the mouth. And lastly, for the hands anyways, he does include this Kung Fu grip hand. Wonder what this is used for. And last but certainly not least, there's only one thing that Kung Fu grip hand could have been made for, and that is of course to wield Fisto's trusty sword here. Not sure if this is reused from Triclops or vice versa in this case, since Fisto did technically come out first, but at any rate, it is a nice inclusion, even though I don't remember him actually using this in the Revelation series. But with that being said, let us now move on to the aesthetics and articulation. Taking a closer look at Mr. Fisty here, and I gotta tell you, considering the fact that the MOTU Classics Fisto is pushing $300-400 nowadays, I think this is the next best thing. Masterverse has kind of been dubbed the poor man's classics, and that couldn't be any more true than it actually is. Like, let's be honest here. These guys are like, what, 20-25 bucks? Classics are pretty much unaffordable. They're getting into Mythic Legions territory, and when I say that, we're talking figures like Otho, Rhaegor, Keltis, Adamon, the original Gorgo Aetherblade, stuff like that. And that's kind of ridiculous, because I don't think that line really needs to be pushing that kind of cash. Because, to be honest with you, I think they should have been sold at retail. But whatever. What do I know? I'm not Scott Knight. Like, I don't know everything about everything. Oh wait, neither does he. Oh, you know I was going there. But at any rate, I gotta give him praise for DC Classics, though. We'll give him that, I guess. But Fisto here, really nice representation of the character. Yeah, he looks like the Revelation one, but I think it's classic enough to appease even the most diehard of fans, so I guess there is that. His armor looks a little funky to me, though. I feel like it should be like longer or something. I don't know what it is, but it's very weird. It seems like his torso is a little squat on this guy, but other than that, he's really good. He's got the standard Masterverse proportions, kind of the peanut head, the long arms and legs, and again, that kind of scrunched torso, which is more noticeable on this guy than anyone else. And of course, he has his big Popeye arm. And this isn't any big Popeye arm. This is a big Popeye arm with a die-cast fist on it. And I can tell it's die-cast because it smells like Hot Wheels, okay? I live with someone who buys a lot of Hot Wheels, so I think I know what I'm talking about. Mr. Brian. But at any rate, you do actually get a swivel out of that, so that's nice. This part here is PVC, but the fist itself is made out of die-cast, so that's really cool. I think that's neat. Did they have to do that? No. Would I have preferred if they didn't do that? Not really. I think it's cool, but it seems unnecessary, but at the same time, it seems really cool. So, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that. I'll just take it for what it is, I guess. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, this is standard Masterverse stuff. His head's on a ball joint. You can look up and down. His shoulders go out to the side, back down. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow, which, can I just say, holy Hannah, were these not easy to move. I had to heat the bejesus out of this thing. There we go. To get that to move. And was a little bit afraid of tearing it here. Not so much down here, but up here. But I didn't cause any damage as far as I know. Everything's still tight like it was out of pack, so I guess that's a plus, right? Does have a swivel in the wrist as well as a hinge. Nice tight wrist pegs on this guy. I haven't actually swapped all the hands in as the time I'm recording this part of the video. But of course, for accessories, you've already seen that. And most likely, it's the same for all three hands. He does have a diaphragm joint that crunches forward and back. There's a little bit of side-to-side tilt. No rotation up there, but you do get that at the waist. So that's nice. Hips, I gotta tell you though, they are improving the hips quite a bit. They do kick forward and back, they kick out, they kick back down. Really easy to move out of package. I didn't have to do anything to these. Same with this one. Really nice and smooth. Not too loose, but not too tight either. As far as the rest of his leg goes, he does have a thigh cut. This side's a little tight. You can rotate it all the way around, no problem. It's not like the Beastman I had where it was tugging on the peg itself. That's what she said. Does have double knee though. Does give you that much range. I gotta tell you, the joints on these are clean enough, I think. I don't think they're great, but I don't think they're too bad. Definitely better than some McFarlane figures. He does have a boot swivel. Does have a hinge in the foot. And a rocker joint with peg holes at the bottom of the feet. With a stand he does not come with, but again, if you have McFarlane stands, they work just fine with these. Since they are 7-inch figures after all. I will say, this boot was a little loose on mine, but it seems to have stiffened up a bit. So, no cry, no foul. A little bit of schmutz on the back of the knees, though. That's kind of probably what is causing the tightness problem on some of these. There's a lot of like excess plastic from the mold kind of stuck in that joint. You kind of just got to work it out and then shave it off with an X-Acto knife. But I'm sure most of you don't care about that kind of crap. So we're just going to move right along here. If I can get him centered. Or at least centered enough. Take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is the Masterverse Fisto next to his Origins and 2000X counterparts. Next up, here's Fisto alongside a couple other male characters from the Masterverse line, Man-at-Arms and Stinkor. Up next, here he is with a couple of female characters from the Masterverse line, Evelyn and Tila. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, 11th Spawn, as usual, towers over everyone. So with that being said, time to wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and if like me, you missed out on the MOTU Classics version of good old Fisto here, I think this Masterverse figure is quite possibly the next best thing. Granted, he is based off the MOTU Revelation series, but at the same time, I think it's classic enough to fit in with a Classics collection. But yours truly is going to be using it with his other Masterverse figures as intended. So, with that being said, if you're able to pick this guy up for the $12-13 I did, or even $20, I think he's still worth it. I think that's a really solid price for this guy, especially considering the fact that the Classics version is going for upwards to $300-400 nowadays. Can I just say yeesh to that? But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you are so inclined, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. If you haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when Skelegod rips out your soul and sends it to Subternia. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.